Welcome back! Last time we were together, we learned about a great battle with the Philistines and how God answered the cry of Israel when they turned away from having other gods and worshipped God only. But now, many years have passed, and Samuel began getting old. So he assigned his sons as judges over the people. But his boys were not godly, and they accepted bribes and made bad decisions. Upset and angry, the people came to Samuel and said, "Samuel, your sons are not like you. Make us a king. All the other nations have kings. They fight their battles and make laws to help people get along. We want to be like them. We want a king." Hearing that made Samuel sad, so he took his sadness to the Lord. God answered the old judge and said to him, "Samuel, this thing is not against you as the judge of these people. It's against me. They don't want me to be their ruler. They have been this way since I made them a nation. So, give them their heart's desire and make them a king. Only show them how hard it will be for them to go their own way." Samuel went back to the people, and he described the situation that would happen if they got a king. "This is what the king shall have the right to do," he said. "He will rule over you, but he will also take your sons and make them his servants and soldiers to drive his chariots, lead his men, be his bodyguards and messengers, and fight his battles. He will make your daughters bakers and cooks. He will make your children plow his fields, reap his harvests, and make weapons for war. He will take the best of your fields, gardens, and lands and give them to his slaves and servants. He will take a tenth of your crops and livestock to give to his officers and slaves. He will take your servants and make them do his own work, and he will make you yourselves slaves. And on that day you will cry out to God because of your trouble, and he will not hear you." "We don't care," shouted the people. "We want a king. We want to be like all the other nations around us. We want a king to fight our battles and govern us." So Samuel told all the people said to the Lord, and the Lord told him to give the people a king. Living in that time was a man named Kish. He was a powerful man of the tribe of Benjamin. He was rich too, for among his many possessions he had a herd of donkeys and servants. He also had a handsome son named Saul, who was a head taller than everyone around him. One day, all of the donkeys broke out of the fence and went missing. When Kish found out, he told Saul and a servant to go out and find them. So they started looking. They went through 5 different regions or counties and still no donkeys. After 3 long days, Saul said to the servant, "Come on, let's go back home. We've been gone so long that Father will stop worrying about these foolish donkeys and start worrying about us." "Wait," said the servant. "Before we go back, here in this city is a man of God. All he says comes true. Let's ask him about the donkeys." "Okay," said Saul, "but we don't have any money. What if he requires a fee to tell us where the donkeys are?" "Oh, I have some money," said the servant. "We can use that." "Good idea then. Let's go." As they went up the hill to the city gates, some young women came out of the city to draw water. So they asked the girls if the man of God was in town. "Oh yes, he came only just today. For today the people of this city are offering a sacrifice to God and having a feast," a maiden answered. "You best hurry if you want to meet him though. He's about to leave for the sacrifice now. If you hurry, you will catch him on his way." So Saul and the servant hurried up to the city. On the day before, the Lord had told Samuel, "Tomorrow, at about this time, I will send you a man from the tribe of Benjamin, and he will be the prince of this people, to save them from the Philistines, for I have heard the cry of my people." And when Samuel saw Saul, the Lord said to him in his heart, "This is the man that I have sent to you to rule over my people." When Saul and the servant entered the gate, Samuel was coming out on his way to the sacrifices. Saul asked him, "Sir, do you know where the man of God lives?" "I am the man of God," answered Samuel. "Come with me to the sacrifice, for you shall eat with me today, and tomorrow I will tell you all that is in your heart. As for the donkeys that were lost 3 days ago, don't worry about them. They've been found. Does not all the desire of Israel sit on you and your father's house?" "But sir," Saul responded, "I am from the smallest tribe of all. Why do you say all the desire of Israel is on me?" But the judge of Israel didn't answer. He just led Saul to the feast and put him at the head of a long table full of guests. Then he told the cook, "Take that special portion and put it before this man." So the cook laid an enormous portion of meat in front of Saul, and Samuel said, "This is the portion that I saved back for you when I invited these people to the feast." After the feast, Saul went back and talked on the rooftop with Samuel until late into the night. Then, early in the morning, Samuel woke Saul and the servant and started them on their way. When they got to the city gate, Samuel told Saul, "Send the servant ahead. I have something to say to you." So the servant went on ahead. Then Samuel took a flask of oil and poured it over Saul's head and kissed him and said, "This is because God has anointed you to be captain of his inheritance." Saul was very surprised, but he listened closely. Samuel went on, "God has spoken today. These signs will show you. As you are passing Rachel's tomb, 2 men will meet you, and they will tell you that the donkeys were found and that your father is very worried about you. As you pass Tabor, you will meet 3 men who are on their way to Bethel to worship God. One will have 3 baby goats, one will have 3 loaves of bread, and one will have a bottle of wine. They will greet you and give you 2 of the loaves of bread. Passing the garrison of the Philistines, you will meet a group of prophets coming down from worshiping God on the high places, and they will have with them musical instruments, a pipe, a psaltery, a harp, and a tambourine. And they will say wonderful things about God. And the Spirit of God shall bless you, and you shall prophesy with them, as though you were another man entirely. And when all these things happen to you, you should do the next right thing, and God is surely with you. Then, in a little while, you will go down to Gilgal and meet me. I will offer sacrifices to God, and then in 7 days I will tell you what you should do next." Then, as Saul turned away from Samuel to go home, God gave him another heart. And all the things that Samuel said would happen came about. Saul even prophesied with the prophets that came down from the high places. As Saul was prophesying and saying wonderful things about God, some friends of his saw him. "Wow, look! Is that Saul, son of Kish?" "No, dear, it can't be. Saul would never say such wonderful things about God. He's too practical and reserved. Look at him now. No, that is a different man. Really now, a different man? Do you know anyone else who is head and shoulders taller than the rest of the nation?" "Son, come here. Who's that?" "Who, mother?" "The tall one that's saying such wonderful things." "That's Saul, son of Kish." "Whoa, who would have ever thought he would prophesy?" "I don't believe it," the old man exclaimed. "God must have given him a new heart, for a man doesn't change like that overnight without God. Hey, Herman, do you recognize that guy?" Herman squints. "Why, it's Saul, son of Kish, no doubt about it. God must have changed him." So a new saying was born in Israel. Is Saul also among the prophets? And Saul and the servant went on to the high places, and they met Saul's uncle up there. "Well, Saul, how was the donkey hunt? What adventures did you experience?" "Oh, uncle, it wasn't that interesting. We went for 3 long days through 5 different regions when I decided to give up. But my servant suggested we see Samuel, so we did, and he told us they were found. Really, it wasn't that interesting." "Really, Saul? I didn't know you knew the judge Samuel." "I didn't, but he surely is a man of God, for all he says comes to pass." "Well, I'm glad it was uneventful. Good day, Saul." But Saul didn't tell anyone about the rest of his experience with Samuel. And we'll have to stop here. But the story goes on. The next video is called Saul the King, and that is going to be a fun story. See you soon.